Behavior modification. True or false? This class is a complete waste of time. Did I catch your attention? The answer to this question is completely up to you, not me. Remember in the introduction to the course video, I said what you get out of this class is in direct proportion to what you put into it? Unless you actually do something about your stress and implement the coping and relaxation techniques, the answer to this question is unfortunately true. This class will be a complete waste of your time, in my opinion. Knowing versus doing. So you've received tons of information about why you need to deal effectively with stress and how you can deal effectively with stress. I certainly hope you've enjoyed the class, and more importantly that you feel you've gotten something out of this class, but way more important than enjoying the class and or feeling that you've gotten something out of it is doing something about how you handle your stressors. Implementing at least one tiny behavior change on a permanent basis is what I'm hoping for. You can recite 100 reasons why you should eat healthy or exercise or effectively manage stress, but the most important thing is that you actually implement healthy and effective stress management behaviors. Knowledge alone doesn't make you healthier. It's the healthy behaviors that make you healthier. The overall purpose of this class was really to help you be healthier physically and emotionally by improving your ability to handle stress. Regardless of whatever health behavior you'd like to target, quitting smoking, eating healthier, exercising more, or effectively managing your stress, it's important to assess your readiness for change. The stages of change model, also called the trans-theoretical model of change, is often used by health educators to develop health promotion programs that are appropriate based on the stage at which their target population is at. I'm going to discuss the stage of change model specifically as it pertains to stress management, but again, this model is used for any health-related behavior. Pre-contemplation. The first stage is pre-contemplation. This is when a person has no intention of making any changes because they're either not aware that they have a problem of dealing with whatever stressful emotion, or they might be aware but they don't think it's that big of a deal, so they still have no intention of changing. Just a reminder, stress is a huge umbrella and encompasses any stress-inducing emotion, which could be elicited by a wide range of stressors, so think broadly in terms of what you need to change. That's the way you're supposed to react. That's the way anyone else would react. What's the big deal? Hopefully you now know that this is a big deal. Your thoughts and emotions are way important. Here's an example of someone at this stage. A person who always waits until the last minute to complete a major project or assignment and then stresses during crunch time. If they're asked about this pattern, they might say something like, I get a better grade when I wait until the last minute, or at least I always get it done. They have no intention of changing this habit. Contemplation. The second stage is contemplation. This is when a person starts to think more seriously about making a change. So the attitude moves from what's the big deal to, yeah, I really need to stop waiting until the last minute to complete assignments. They know they need to make a change, and they now have somewhat of an intention to change, but not right now. Preparation. The third stage is preparation. This is when a person has mentally made a commitment to change, and they start to do whatever they need to do to prepare to make that change. An example of someone at this stage is buying a day planner for the first time and using the reverse calendar method, or breaking their major project into mini projects and assigning deadlines. Action. The fourth stage is action. This is when the person actually engages in the behavior. An example of this stage is when the person is actually completing the mini assignments and following their reverse calendar plan. Maintenance or relapse prevention. This is when the person has been successful at making their change for quite a while now. An example is using the reverse calendar method for a couple of quarters now and enjoying not stressing out anymore about having to do last-minute crunching. Just a word of caution, it's possible to go back and forth through these stages. So once someone is in the maintenance stage, it is possible to slip back, but it's possible to get back to the maintenance stage again. How many of you have attempted to change a behavior like going on a diet and eat really good for a while, and then you slip and go back to your old ways of eating? The same goes for emotional health issues. How many of you are able to take a deep breath and control your temper at times, but you don't do so well at other times. My hope is that you all have found at least one behavior that has been a source of stress for you and that you're ready to enter into the action stage of change or have already entered into that stage. Shaping versus radical change. Which way is more likely to ensure permanent behavior change? Baby steps or making small changes little by little, or making radical changes all at once? It's kind of a trick question because it all depends on the person and on the targeted behavior. For example, if someone absolutely hates exercise and has never really exercised a day in their life, trying to exercise a couple hours a day, 6 days a week, is not going to result in lasting behavior change and will probably put the person in the hospital. But if someone has an addiction to sugar and they always have to have a sweet treat every day, it's generally recommended to cut out the sugar altogether, because as long as the person continues to have any sweets, that sweet tooth is still being fed. Cold turkey is the best way to go in this case. Regarding behaviors pertaining to stress management, I generally recommend baby steps, also called shaping. Little by little, work on the things you need to work on. Don't try to master everything at once, and don't take on another goal until you've mastered the previous goal. For example, if you don't sleep well and you're always cranky and tired the next day, which affects your relationships with others and your productivity and performance, then try doing one relaxation technique each night before going to bed, which has been shown to improve quality of sleep. That's it. Don't do anything else for a while until you get into the habit of doing this. Then, while continuing with your new habit of doing your relaxation technique just before going to sleep, move on to another goal. Review all of the coping and relaxation techniques and all the info in the corresponding lectures and pick which ones you feel would benefit you the most. How long does it typically take for a new habit to develop? Studies have shown that it's typically 21 days, or roughly 3 weeks, of doing something every day or nearly every day. Incorporating permanent and habitual stress management techniques is a bit tricky because you don't always experience the same stressor every day, or maybe you do. Losing your temper, for example, probably doesn't happen every day. Hopefully it doesn't happen every day. So it's easy to forget to use a power phrase because it's not every day that you're confronted with the triggers that cause you to lose your temper. So I recommend using post-it notes on your bathroom mirror or some other place that hopefully is private and not seen by others, and a place that you typically see every day, just until the habit becomes habitual. The supplemental video for this lecture is how to break bad habits and is just over 5 minutes. It's another well-cast video with some good insight pertaining to how to modify your behaviors. Key points: the stage of change model includes 5 stages: pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, and maintenance. Shaping involves taking baby steps and not moving on until you've mastered the previous step. This type of behavior change is generally recommended with stress management efforts. It generally takes 21 days to develop a new habit. And that's it for this lecture and for this class. I truly hope that you've gotten something out of this class, but more importantly, that you'll commit to adopting at least one new habit that will help improve your quality of life.